And the Rangers send the ball straight back to Andy Gorham to give him an early touch. And he had a chance to launch one of those long balls downfield. Mark Hateley underneath that, well challenged by Gus Caesar. And the ball played long for Alan Lawrence, catching the Airdrie striker offside. But he's a major problem on these fast breaks by Airdrie. He's very quick indeed up front, Lawrence. And he'll be joined principally, I think, by Owen Coyle in attack. So Richard Goff with the free kick for Rangers. Helped on by Mikalichenko. Here's Jimmy Boyle. Brown calls to Spackman to leave that, and Hateley was slow coming back, and already it's established, I think, Billy, that Paul Jack will sweep for Airdrie.
It looks very much like that at the minute, and Gus Caesar will pick up Mark Hateley, and Walter Kidd, as we anticipated, will pick up Alan McCoy's. Interesting enough from Airdrie's point of view, Gus Caesar getting a good header early on against Mark Hateley, and I always used to enjoy that as a centre-half, and I think it's an important thing to happen for Airdrie.
So the first psychological blow struck there by Gus Caesar defensively in his marking chore on Hateley. So Airdrie filtering back to defend, and we anticipate they may do quite a lot of that early on to avoid the blow of an early goal. Eddie Kirkwood operating wide on the right. Here's Lawrence. Hustled there by Brown. That was a foul by the Rangers central defender. So it's Jimmy Boyle playing it forward early. Goff is alive to that. There's Spackman. Playing it across here for Stevens. And Stuart McCall couldn't get there ahead of Sandy Stewart. Good tackle there by Stevens. This is Spackman. And down goes McCoy. He's tackled heavily from the rear by Walter Kidd. So it's a very daunting task that for Kidd to look after McCoy all afternoon. And then McCoy has scored 3 cup goals in the campaign so far. That leaves him 2 behind Jerry Craney in the race to be leading scorer in the cup. Mark Hateley going hurtling in there. John Martin will be happy to have that first little piece of involvement over. Coping very capably there, with Hateley putting him under pressure. Robertson up against Kirkwood. Spackman with Balfour. There's McCall. That's fine play by McCall. Stevens breaking on the right. Durant appears to have been given a free roll, and he's been picked up in the early stages by Jimmy Boyle. That's aim for Stevens, who's well forward, and tackled firmly there by Paul Jack. With that crunching challenge, making certain there was no dangerous cross for John Martin to cope with. Paul Jack signed from Arbroath, versatile player. He can play full-back in midfield, and this afternoon at sweeper. Mikalichenko will take the corner kick. Goff and Hateley on the 18-yard line. That's towards the near post. Had to be headed away firmly and safely there by Stewart. Here's Mikalichenko, and trying to beat Martin at the near post. There's plenty of support waiting in the middle, but Mikalichenko, I think, tried to surprise the goalkeeper with this effort. You see him checking inside here, and Martin protecting that near post at all costs.
Lovely piece of skill from Mikalichenko, and confident as anything. Took the player on lovely, opened up about the goal for himself. Unfortunately didn't hit the target.
Helped on there by Honor, and played straight to the feet of Spackman there by Stewart. Still no way through the middle though. Airdrie grouping well in defence through the centre. So they've had to reorganise somewhat. Chris Honor playing in a midfield role, pushing forward on Mikalichenko. There they are together. Sandy Stewart also with that task of holding a position there on Stuart McCall. Caesar getting that out of Hateley, but this is Stevens. Good running by Mikalichenko. This time trying to play the ball in early. Dragged away to safety there by Jack. Goff keeps the ball in play. A very Very safe pass back there by Jimmy Boyle, who knows this surface very well indeed because he joined Airdrie from Queen's Park 3 years ago. So playing a lot of his football on this pitch before his transfer. Kirkwood got up well there, that's for Coyle to chase. Goff with a cross. Well, an alarming moment there for the Rangers defence. Davy Kirkwood getting up so well for that little head flick on. Richard Goff has a word or two to say to his teammates. John Brown was the player beaten there, and Coyle had a very fleeting chance there.
Walter Smith has come up with surprising tactics in actual fact, because Ian Durrant's playing on the left-hand side with Mikhailichenko on the right-hand side. I honestly don't think that Airdrie, or indeed anyone else, would have anticipated that one, Joe.
And there are lots of instructions, I can tell you, coming from the Airdrie dugout below us, because they're having to cope with that surprising formation. So homework done by Walter Smith and Archie Knox, the Rangers management team, to perplex Airdrie in the early stages. So it's all rather muted at the moment here at Hampden. Neither set of supporters really in full voice as yet. It is Spikeman trying to use the pace of David Robertson, but Kirkwood was covering that move, and he's gone back, all the pass back to John Martin. So John McVeigh on his feet, the Airdrie assistant manager, conveying the instructions, that earpiece, his contact point with Alec MacDonald in the stand. Again, Kirkwood got up well to that. There's Gary Stevens. Head clash there. Davy Kirkwood's on the ground. It hasn't recovered. His own Coyle breaks on the left. And John Brown is there to turn that to safety. At the expense of a throw near the corner flag. And Davy Kirkwood is still crouched there, holding his head. Took a blow there as he won that high ball. And the referee now will allow treatment, sensibly. Well, Kirkwood has done well with a couple of early headers, playing wide on the right-hand side, marking David Robertson, preventing any fast breaks by the fullback. So there's serious damage for Evan Balfour. He too was up for that high ball, and he, I'm sure, will have to leave the field, at least for a spell, to get that cleaned up. Will Collins, the Rangers physio, has come on to attend to him because there's attention required also for Davy Kirkwood. So Balfour will have to leave the field for the moment to have the blood removed. Under the FIFA regulations, any blood-stained player must be cleaned up before he can return. So Airdrie continue with 10 men. Spikeman's header. Swept away by Stevens. And Walter Kidd going for that in determined fashion. It's a new lease of life for Walter Kidd, who spent his career at Tynecastle as a right back, but has turned out to be a very effective marking central defender. Evan Balfour is down below us now, anxious to come back on. A plaster on his head. The referee will have to wait perhaps until play is halted. The referee has spotted Balfour, but he won't allow him back on the field as yet. Now he's allowed him back as Goff plays it forward. There's McCoist, turning and jinking away from Walter Kidd. No real power in the shot though. Trying to chip one beyond John Martin and advanced off his line. So the keeper calms things down. There's Balfour. Couldn't get to that. There goes Goff. Here's Kirkwood. Durant comes back to challenge. So Alan Lawrence is on the ground this time for Airdrie. He's holding his head as he gets back to his feet. The throw there from Robertson. This is Mikhailichenko. Holding off Chris Honor, his marker. Durant back to Mikhailichenko. Such a good touch on the ball moment, Mikhailichenko. That pass though inaccurate, allowing Boyle to play it through the middle to catch Owen Coyle offside. Coyle is the Airdrie top scorer of the season with 14 goals, a very good return for his first season in Premier Division football. Consistent level for Airdrie. There's Hateley going for that. He's well challenged by Caesar. There's still danger for Airdrie as McCall tries to turn that towards goal. But another very good challenge, Billy, by Caesar on Hateley.
Yes, he's a determined boy, and he's getting up there. He's putting in a good challenge. Here, he didn't allow Mark Hateley to get a clear touch of the ball. Almost a little error there. Nice little bit of idea from Stuart McCall, but obviously too high. Interestingly enough, before the game started, I would have thought Ian Durrant would have been given a free role. It looks as though Mikhailichenko has been given that role, and Ian Durrant's going to play a more positive role on the left-hand side.
So Jimmy Boyle, who is marking Ian Durrant, been getting lots of advice from the dugout from John McVeigh. Here's David Robertson, his first chance in the match to demonstrate the length of his throw. Looking for Hateley. Cleared by Jack. This is Kirkwood, he couldn't control that. A little bit of dampness on the surface, which may prove troublesome. And the offside flag up against Mark Hateley. So Hateley has certainly been offering lots of mobility up front early on for Rangers. Closely marked by Gus Caesar there. Away by Brown. Caesar again, first to the ball, ahead of Hateley. There's Jack. Well, he won't be happy with that pass. It was intended to pick up Alan Lawrence, who had broken to the right flank. So Jack calling there to Davy Kirkwood. Didn't like his positioning for the moment. So Airdrie have certainly set the problems for Rangers, which the Ibrox men are trying now to solve. Good running there by Brown, and the last challenge was a vital one. There's Mikhailichenko, and Ali McCoist complaining bitterly there to Mikhailichenko that he was in the clear to receive a pass on the inside right position, and Mikhailichenko going for this with his weaker foot, the right, but it was Brown who opened up the Airdrie defence with that surging run. He then tried to thread that through from McCoist. It broke back for Mikhailichenko. You can see McCoist there in the clear.
Yeah, McCoist will be just a little bit disappointed that Mikhailichenko didn't pass to him, but I think the temptation for a shot from the edge of the box is always there, and he came on to, unfortunately for him, it was his wrong foot.
Durrant plays it back. Airdrie funnel off the Rangers back four as soon as Goff or Brown in possession. The Airdrie players drop right back deep into their own half. A foul there by Coyle on Goff. Coyle trying to go across and shut off Gary Stevens whenever Rangers have possession deep inside their own half. It's all been carefully thought out before the match by Ali MacDonald and John McVeigh, the Airdrie management team. Their entire lineup this afternoon costing less than £500,000. Here's Alan Lawrence. That's good play by Lawrence. Very confident play by Alan Lawrence, and that was the first clear opening of the match. And the Rangers defence certainly looked to be just a little bit slack here as Lawrence kept on coming, turning and twisting there to fool John Brown, and the shot wasn't far away.
Yes, it's a good piece of skill from Alan Lawrence. This is him at his best, running at a defender, good bit of pace, shows composure, goes across the face of a defender and not all that far away with his shot.
There's Mikhailichenko, and good work done again by Davy Kirkwood, halting the progress of David Robertson. Former Rangers player Kirkwood, albeit briefly. Caesar again getting up well against Hateley. And that snap chance falling to Mark Hateley as he fell over, but he certainly knows he's going to have a tough match this afternoon against Gus Caesar.
Yes, Airdrie started, obviously when Rangers have the ball, they filter back and they try to deny Stevens room on the right-hand side, and Kirkwood is preventing Robertson from breaking in this side. But when they get the ball, either Owen Coyle or Alan Lawrence, they're trying to get right on the shoulder of either central defender. We saw Alan Lawrence get the break there, pick up the ball and run at John Brown. I think that's what their tactics are going to be.
Boyle hoisting it forward, but the Rangers back four holding its line and leaving Lawrence and Coyle offside as we approach the 15-minute mark. And for Airdrie, I reckon so far things going according to plan. They've avoided a very early goal, and that was the first task facing the Broomfield men. Walter Smith looking a little bit stern there, looking on. And it's well taken by Martin. Paul Jack offers himself ahead and allows the Airdrie players to take a breather and push upfield. So John Martin, 12 years the Airdrie goalkeeper, came from Tranent Juniors, real character in goal and a very effective player in the Airdrie season, which has been so successful. And David Robertson quite content to let that run for a goal kick to Rangers. But some very interesting confrontations on the field. John Martin still to be seriously tested in the match, and he'll be happy to have overcome the opening nervous moments. Andy Gorham's first Scottish Cup final. Boyle up there with Durant. Here's Haitley. Tackle was made by Balfour. It breaks for Spackman. Here's Mikhalichenko trying to help that on for Durant. Coyle going back there. He'd been marking Gary Stevens whenever Rangers had possession. So really the only Airdrie player with no defensive duties appears to be Alan Lawrence, playing right through the middle, trying to pose problems for Gough and Brown. Sears getting up well again, competing physically in the air with Haitley. He was being penalised that time. Free kicks already taken. There's Durant. Stevens finding space, faced by Coyle. 10 Airdrie players now facing the ball. Only Lawrence in the centre circle, and a misunderstanding there between Stevens and Durant. Durant wanted the ball to feet, and Stevens thought he was going to make a run on the right flank. Gough got his head to that. Here's Spackman. Once again, David Robertson being followed by Kirkwood. Good cover provided also by Paul Jack. That's a free kick. David Robertson going in late on Paul Jack. Well, a very unhappy semi-final when he's ordered off after just 6 minutes against Celtic. But this time he was frustrated, I think, by the fact that the pass didn't run for him. Paul Jack taking it across his bows. There's Brown. Mikhalichenko's header. McCall across to Stevens. Durant going forward on the right. So Durant now trying to find a teammate inside. It's McCoy's defines. Back from Stevens to McCall. There's no one on the left. Robertson has stayed deep, marked by Kirkwood. Got up well there by Stewart. Spackman and a challenge there. It breaks kindly for Rangers. There's Stevens. McCoy's dummy. There's McCall, and Jimmy Boyle steps in. Fine move that though by Rangers. McCoy's dummy set up the chance to open up the early defence. Kirkwood getting the better of David Robertson there. He's not very tall, Davy Kirkwood, but he does time his leaps well. He's done a good job so far in pinning down David Robertson when Rangers have the ball. It's been a feature of the play, Billy, that the Rangers fullbacks really haven't had a chance to come forward.
No, there isn't any real width about Rangers at the moment, and they can't get their fullbacks out of the defence. On this side, Kirkwood has done a smashing job, but Owen Coyle has been asked to break from his centre forward spot and go across there and accommodate Gary Stevens. It takes a lot of fitness to do that, and I wonder if it will take from him a little bit of positive front running that you would expect from a centre forward.
So further tinkering tactically by Rangers. Durant has now moved to the right hand side of a three-man midfield with Spackman and McCall who hold the middle, and Sandy Stewart has taken over the duty of looking after Durant. Mikhalichenko still with that free roll. Here's McCoist leading that to Durant. It's played in early and won by Jack. Kirkwood getting there just ahead of Brown. Could have been nasty, but neither player seriously hurt, although both Brown and Kirkwood took a knock there. Haitley's head up, looking for McCoist. And the challenge was made by Walter Kidd. A very important one, that right inside the penalty box. where McCoist is at his most dangerous. But here's the combination. Hateley getting up for this, looking for McCoist, and Kidd did an excellent defensive job. Durant taking the short corner this time to Spackman. Goff is there with Hateley. Both up for that, and a missed kick by McCoist. Must have seen that very late indeed there, Stuart McCall. Martin is fully committed to this. Well, needed 2 chances to hold the ball, but he certainly solved any problems for his teammates in defence. Well, Ali McCoist had that snap chance there, but he couldn't get his left boot on the ball. Goff's head up. There's McCall. Yalichenko allowing on off the challenge for that in the air, and the free kick's been given for the foul by Boyle on McCall. It's a new duel created by the Rangers' tactical alteration. Boyle with McCall this time. Spackman forward. There's Sandy Stewart with Ian Durant. Durant looking for a foul there. He's not going to get one though. Jack plays it from defence. There's John Brown. Airdrie performing their containing job so far, Billy, extremely well.
Yes, from a containing point of view, they have performed very well. We did have a couple of Hateley headers that almost set up chances for Ali McCoist, but in the main Airdrie have coped quite well. They haven't done enough lot in the attacking sense.
The other chance for them in the attacking sense. Coyle charging forward, going down there, and not even insulting the referee by appealing there for a foul. Penalty rather. Timmy Boyle. I think he tried to surprise Andy Gorham with that effort. A very good servant, Boyle, to Airdrie. 3 good seasons. Came here as an orthodox right back following his Queen's Park career. But has shown his versatility since then. There's Brown. Robertson's gone forward this time. Brown coming from the back. Turn pass attempted there by McCoist, but the cover was there for Airdrie from Paul Jack. And I wonder, Billy, if Rangers sending one of their central defenders forward could make that extra man to open up the Airdrie defence.
Well, they're going to be asked to do that, and that's that job, because Rangers are going to, Airdrie rather, are going to pick up whenever they're not in possession, and it's going to be difficult for Rangers to break that down if they don't have movement from the back. And indeed, I think they've got to maybe create a bit more width than they've been doing.
Here's Davy Kirkwood. Coyle has switched to the right, trying to get the better there of Durant. He knew it would be an Airdrie throw. So we're midway through the first half, and there's still no scoring in the Tennant Scottish Cup final. So Owen Coyle looking for space inside the penalty area. Just on it also there. It's won well by Brown. There's Kirkwood playing it in low this time. It almost fought his way through, and the Rangers defence very happy to scramble that to safety. Boyle shot, closed down there and blocked by Goff, but Airdrie enjoying a good spell of pressure here. And that cross brings it to an end though. David Robertson getting a call to Andy Gorham, let that run. But for a moment there, the Rangers defence looked to be in some trouble. Came from the throw, came back from John Brown. This is a very good ball, played in low. The dummy attempted inside the area, and still it wouldn't run kindly for Airdrie. And the shot in the end from Boyle, well blocked by Goff.
That's exactly what Airdrie are after. They want to contain Rangers, and every now and then they'll hit them on the break. A good ball from David Kirkwood almost opened an opportunity up for them.
John Brown had to be careful there, and forcing Gorham to sprint. No sign there of that knee problem Gorham's been suffering from, which requires treatment to ensure he can join Scotland in the European Championships in Sweden next month. So here's Richard Goff trying to pick out an accurate pass. It's not at all easy. The marking is so diligent and so tight among the Airdrie defenders. Now you can criticise Richard Goff for that, but you must really give credit to the Airdrie defenders who made his task so difficult.
I think Airdrie will be quite happy leaving Rangers with the ball at the back, and then they'll pick up and they'll make passes difficult, and they'll hope that perhaps Richard Goff or John Brown might get a bit careless and they'll steal the ball from them and maybe pounce on an open chance.
We saw Archie Knox there on the track, the Rangers assistant manager. Clearly there is some anxiety felt from the Rangers management at the moment. Paul playing that into space, hoping to pick out a run from Ian Durrant, but he miscued the pass. So Mikhailchenko has now switched to a wide left position in midfield, Durrant wide right, and that may be answering the problem posed there by Billy McNeil about width in the Rangers ranks.
Yeah, I think so. At the moment, I think Walter Smith is probably just a little bit concerned. He's having more problem with the tactics than Airdrie are. Airdrie are straightforward. They're going to mark, leave Paul Jack in at the back and try to hit Rangers on the break.
The long angle ball there from John Brown, helped on by Haitley for Spackman, who's been a very good run wide on the right. Trying to get the ball across. Mikhailchenko trying to control it, and Jimmy Boyle turns that back. Can Martin keep the ball in play? Linesman Bill Macri said he did. John Martin clearly believes he did. He's even managed to produce a smile at this stage in the final. That's always a healthy sign. Jimmy Boyle with that lofted pass back. So John Martin still not yet called upon in the match to perform any heroics. We've had 26.5 minutes of the first half without any goals. Goes David Robertson, win that from Kirkwood. And you wonder too if the confidence will be rising in the Airdrie ranks. They've coped so well so far in the match, produced a couple of recent attacks and enjoying the role, I think, as underdogs. Jack lofting it forward. Kirkwood was offside on the near side. But Airdrie clearly did a lot of talking before the match about the importance of not conceding an early goal. Have achieved that. There's instructions there coming from John McVeigh to Davy Kirkwood. But if Airdrie were low in confidence, Billy, that must have changed.
It certainly has. I think they've come along here, so nobody's given us a chance. We're going to do the things that we're good at. We're going to frustrate Rangers when they're in possession. We're going to have a little go at them every now and then.
Head flick on there by Haitley. Martin goes across to Gather. Ian Durrant was the Rangers player trying to create a problem for him. Well, it really has been a tremendous comeback by Ian Durrant. He started to show some excellent form in recent weeks, suggesting that he's not far from his best, his pre-October 1988 form. And he came by that dreadful knee injury. Here's McCall. Played along there by Boyle. That's a good pass. Lawrence is in behind Brown. Kirkwood's in the middle. Lawrence looks up. Tackled firmly by Brown. But again, there's encouragement for the Airdrie players and for their supporters. The Rangers defence appeared to be opened up rather easily once again. One long pass, and the pace of Lawrence gave them a chance. John Brown took a knock earlier in the match. He doesn't appear to have shrugged that off completely. And indeed, Paul Rideout has appeared from the dugout with Dale Gordon to do some warming up. And I wonder if John Brown may struggle to remain on the field. He's taken a thigh knock there. It'll be difficult to run off. Looking at the dugout, indicating that he doesn't want to know about coming off at this stage. He wants the chance to run the injury off. There's clearly anxiety on the bench about that Brown damage. Well, Billy, looks to be a familiar type of injury in the thigh. Can he run this off?
Well, it looks to be troubling him quite a bit.